What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another great installment of the Bullpen, an venture between Inside BJJ and the Grappling Hour. This is great. I did see somebody vote, and I feel like they had their feelings. We put up a prompt saying who's going to score the most, and just to let you know, somebody said we didn't have the right players on the board. And I think it's only fair to acknowledge who they think is going to score the most. So right off the bat, it is D, Sean Mellinson. They said that is who they feel is going to score the most. Someone said, where's the handsome one? Well, he's right here. Take that. Take that. And yes, it is good to talk to my friend Tim Freeman. Why don't we see him right now?
Hey, Raf, what's going on, my man? Almost had another equipment mishap. I don't know if you saw me get off and run off screen, then run back on real quick and get recorrected, but all is right in the universe. It's great to be here today, man. Looking forward. We got some interesting topics on the board. A little bit like, there's not like a bunch of banging competitive news this week, but there were quite a few interesting stories and articles that really probably get more views than the actual competition results. This is the real juice, the real drama that the jiu-jitsu crowd really wants to know about. So I'm stoked, man.
So, Tim, we're going to get to the board here in a second, but here's a preview for everybody who wants to see what is on the board. We always try to catch up a little bit before we go. Are you good here? You're moving things around, so it's making me nervous.
Sorry, brother.
You know how I set everything up very meticulously here.
I know. I apologize. Sorry, my man.
It's all right. Bryce says, I'll score the most. So Bryce is going to be competing at the last qualifier that's happening next Saturday out in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Kings are hosting that one. And I believe there is a kids tournament that is happening. So just to tell you how wild that whole thing is, and Tim is gone. All right, let's do this. It does show that there's going to actually be a kids tournament first, and then the actual event for the PGF qualifier. Unclear on how that is fully working. So, Tim, you can't warn me that something might happen and then you disappear on the show. So what exactly just happened there, sir?
Moneyberg, man. I just got served. Thought it was Amazon at the door, but it was a guy in some black half-calf socks and motorcycle jacket. Yeah.
See,
man.
You know what? In this day and age, I'll take Moneyberg at my door rather than ice. So just want to point that out there.
Right.
Sounds like some hooligans being like, are you from here? And I'm like, si, senor, I am from here. And it's like a trick, and they get in. I'm like, no, American citizen. They'd be like, whatever. Bah. However, said that, though, Tim, for you, what has gone on with you at your gym this week? What have you been up to? What have you been teaching the kids over on your side of the world?
Oh, man. It's, you know what? I'm glad you asked that. I have been teaching a lot of closed guard in the gi, doing a lot of basic stuff. I had this realization a few months back that there was a lot of kind of like things that are gi jiu-jitsu that the students were kind of missing that could really help them, just some kind of basic stuff. And we've been going back through that, and that's been a super blast. Gym's been going good, man. I got a bunch of dudes that are all trying to kill me. This is my basic problem. It's why I'm in pain mostly every day. Everybody goes, roll light, coach, roll light, coach. And now now when they say roll light, they do a little hand gesture to kind of like make me feel even more at ease. They go, roll light, just a little bit. And it's like, no, dude, I'm not rolling light with you because you're going to try to kill me. But I'm having fun, man. I'm always out there training, getting after it every day. We got the great thing about Nashville is people come to Nashville because they want to come to Nashville. It's a fun place to come. So I get a lot of drop-ins that are happy to be here. So that's always great. We had a few this week, a lot of cool people. So doing good, man.
Okay. My favorite thing that happens on this show, without fail, is that when people know we're live, they send me stuff while we're on air. So
yeah,
Again, meticulous planner. I exist in other times aside from when we go live, but without fail, like a magnet, sort of like jiu-jitsu math or jiu-jitsu gravity. No matter how big the mats are, they always group together. Same thing here. No matter how much
Right.
prep time I take, they literally, while we're on air, send me updated stuff that I go, this is good to know. You could have sent this to me anytime earlier, so I could have prepared this. But there is some interesting information I think somebody is trying to break to me that I'm not even fully. Yep. I see that there. Good afternoon. Yes. I like what I see. Am I allowed to announce this information? Because I don't know how much I can or cannot say. So you have to tell me in the text you are allowed to say these things. It says, was busy signing franchise players. Okay, you're alluding to it yourself in the comment section. So what does that mean? What can I tell people? You have to be clear. And yes, most people can read behind the lines who are fans of the thing you're talking about. But even in calls, I'm not clear when I go, what can we discuss and disclose?
Yes, he's very vague. He doesn't like, he just gives you words, and then you got to figure out which question or statement you made in the last 17 minutes that fucking word applies to. You know what I think Egg does? I want to know how many live streams Egg loiters in the chat and comment section on, because I bet he's all over the internet, dude. I bet he's slumming everywhere, man.
It's on a website on the internet?
Wow.
It must be true then, as we know by law of the internet, if it is on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Let me go check 4chan.
Fine. Well, even worse. This is, okay. Just stay cool. Don't yell at the people in the comment section. Okay. This is our monologue section. This is where we talk about current events. There is a PGF update section that you're getting ahead of here. So again, just in terms of how this works, you're sending me an audio file? Should I just play this on air? Hold on. Tim, talk for a second. Let me just proof it and make sure it's something I can do. And by the way, this is how you get secretaries of war who tell their shit on Signal group chats. That's all I'm saying. Tim, take the lead.
Yeah, I like the cat and mouse game that Egg is playing here. He's like, this is like a bad episode of Moonlighting where he's trying to send you ransom notes and little tips and clues so you could figure out exactly what you're supposed to do. But it looks like, based on your posture, the way you're holding the hand, the way your eyebrows are just slightly raised, it sounds like you may have an update for us, Raf.
I'm just saying, if you send me something, I have the ability to play it on air. So, in regards to the much alleged fourth franchise, we might have an update here. What's that? No cursing. You did this. So, here's what we're doing.
God damn it, Raf. We're an official fucking team. We're on the goddamn website. FREEMAN said we can say we are a team.
There you have it. Congratulations must be in order for one Egghead and his extended family, as they are going to become the new franchise owners of the Colorado Wolverines. Now, here's the part that initially gave me some pause, because I don't mind him sending me the link and the photos of everything. Like, that makes sense. I'm good with that. I'm happy to share the website, all that sort of stuff. So, again, you can't tell me no cursing when that's the message I got. I'm waiting for the news. I want to break the news. So if you had kept it clean, I would have kept it clean.
What, are you supposed to beep it? You're supposed to filter it for him?
We have that technology. It's just, again, prep time. So here is the thing that I was happy to disclose. So look, Colorado Wolverines, BJJ, they have their own website. Here's the only thing that gave me pause. We have to plug their Patreon too. Everybody's got a Patreon here. So you can meet the team. Very excited about that. So you can know the actual schedule they're going to. I like that a lot. I like it. Says, you did it. What did I do? I got called and I got messaged.
You played the cursing audio file. Yeah.
So hold on. I have another.
If it was all clean, I wouldn't even play it.
I mean, I got another email. This is from somebody here.
That's from me though. That's different. That's for later. Now that you told me you can play audio, I had a clip I wanted you to play on the show.
Even my own co-host just is fucking breaking my brain. It just, listen.
I'm like, I'm sending this shit over too then, man.
No, this is not how the show works. There is a preparation time that
it kinda is though, Raf. It kinda is.
We legitimately were talking for 30 minutes before we went on air and like, do you have anything you need to tell me? No, I don't, Raf. In fact, I'm ready to start the show with no additions. Sounds good. Press play, go live. Now we get mass chaos. Everybody throwing me off my game. I am a person that likes to be prepared. That is it. I don't think it is a dumb thing. Love you all. Yeah, listen, we love you too. And we're very excited for you. And guess what? That does mean there are some implications here. So if Egg is now a franchise owner, I believe he's going to be transitioning out. So I'm really sad you are transitioning out as the official stats guy of the commentary team, Egg, because you breaking this news means I couldn't get to the joke I had, which was you had to resign from the post in dishonor after getting the point totals wrong in season 8 for Jet Thompson. Now, in a new interview with me and Jet Thompson that will air very soon on the Patreon, for Grappling Hour, go there first. In order, Grappling Hour Patreon, Inside BJJ Patreon, Colorado Wolverines Patreon. I don't know the Philly Phenoms Patreon. I know they are coming up with like a podcast, so we can go support them as well. What do you mean I'm enjoying Raf's panic? Nobody should be enjoying Raf's panic. Everybody should be angry that Raf is panicking because it means the show gets more clunky. And that is not what we do here. We do a real ass show. And it says, is there a place we can watch the last season? I'm new to PGF. I'm confused on how the PGF works. Well, here's some good news. We will make that very easy to you. We do, as you may notice on the rundown over that way, on that board, it says a PGF update. So we will be able to give you some updates on how that works. But let me get to the joke. I was supposed to say yes. He is resigning in dishonor because he got the numbers wrong. He has brought in Abe from Substats, who seems like he has this shit together. So far, very excited that he is there. And I like the inclusion of him because now, Egg isn't going to stop doing stats. Like, even though he's relieved of duties, he's still going to do them. So it's going to get real interesting if Abe is ever a half a decimal off, because Egg's going to be the first person in his chat telling him, actually, no, I think that's what happened. And it says, yes, got fired as a commentator. So I can't even say you got fired as a commentator. Wouldn't you much rather be an owner? Like, being an owner is probably more prestigious. Let's put it this way. Yeah. We work on the show. I think we could say with some authority, being an owner comes with a lot more perks and a lot more yikes on the bankroll. I get that part, but you were relieved disgracefully. That's what it is. You had to resign in disgrace. You weren't fired. Nobody did that to you. In this day and age, nobody gets fired. They always go, I'm taking a leave. I have other things I have to do. I've always wanted to go be a banker. Like, that's what people put in. Yeah, that's what's happening.
I have burnout. It is curious that the college point shaving betting statistics, conspiracy that's out right now. A bunch of people got nabbed just recently, like 30 something names It just broke down, and now Egg is stepping down in disgrace after we've seen what happened on the fantasy points scandal. We know how Egg operates when it comes to math. He's not like an adherent to math, you know. He kind of believes in the concept of math, but the actual implementation is a little loopy for him.
Can I ask a certain sort of request here, Egg? You know, you've been so big on putting all of these AI commercials together. Can we get an AI commercial of you on the PGF couches typing away on some stats, and that two random ass people go off the mats and then go into you? Because I feel like every one of your AI generated things has some physical thing that happens. You're either getting beamed up, you run into a lion, which, by the way, this all seems like shit that you dream of when you're. And the third one, I think, is of you. No, I think you were a gunslinger in some of these. It's people can go do that one. And it says, I loved working with TJ, Jason, Anik, and Brandon. And, you know, I think this means that, Egg, you can't be in the draft with us anymore, because now you actually have a real team you have to take care of. So we will name a replacement in the days to come, but we will move ahead here in a second. We just want to say congratulations to you, Egg. I know it's a heavy, heavy thing that you have been trying to get off the air, and as a prominent, if not the most prominent fan of the show for PGF, it is kind of cool to see you go from being this fan to a commentator, a huge part of the company, and now an owner. So congratulations are necessary there. And we move on. Let's go to the board. Tim, this week, it did seem a little surprising to those of us who are major fans of the sport of jiu-jitsu, because guess what? It found its way onto the Tonight Show in kind of an awkward way. Of course, noted brown belt Ashton Kutcher was on the Tonight Show, and there were some mats at the ready for him to show Jimmy Fallon, the host of the Tonight Show, a few moves. What can you tell us about that, Tim?
Yeah, Kutcher actually just got his black belt recently, and maybe he's going on a black belt tour now. We'll see him on the late night circuit, putting techniques on everyone. So he was on Jimmy Fallon. Listen, I know the kids might not know how big of an entity the Tonight Show is, but the Tonight Show was the pinnacle. You make it to the Tonight Show, like, you've been everywhere. That's the gig that everybody wants. It's fitting that jiu-jitsu, when it finally gets there, and it finally gets there in 2026. But Kutcher goes on the Tonight Show. They put out some demo mats, and he shows a technique against Jimmy Fallon, and I dug it. I thought it was dope. It's probably really nerve-wracking to do a technique like that on the air in front of a live audience, but he looked good. The thing that really made me laugh was the huge controversy on Reddit and all of the experts chiming in about whether or not Austin Kutcher picked the right technique. They're like, should he have used scissor sweep? And I thought about that. I kind of like scissor sweep. I actually thought that was not a bad idea. Like, he shows himself in a position where he's vulnerable. He's on his back. He does this move, and now it's reversed. I thought that was great. But the techniques that people called for in the Reddit BJJ board, they were not the kind of techniques you do on live TV. We had wrist locks. We had people calling for twisters. We had people calling for backside 50-50s. Like, jiu-jitsu is already kind of lame enough. How is it going to look if Kutcher's on the Tonight Show trying to put Jimmy Fallon in a twister and he can't pull it off right, or Jimmy Fallon's pants split? Maybe that would be funny. But overall, man, I thought it was pretty cool. I was stoked about it. I thought it was a good deal, man. I don't know if Ashton is the BJJ rep, but, maybe he is. I don't know. I didn't think he butchered it, though. I thought the criticism was a little unwarranted.
Well, Ashton, my apologies. I have forgotten that you got your black belt. I think we might have even congratulated you on a black belt. It's
like a week ago, here, dog.
Bro, the thing is, when I was trying to recall it without a prompt here, I just thought, last I remember, I see a But yes, he is a black belt now. Congratulations, Ash. Say this as somebody who worked on the Tonight Show for 5 years, this is huge. And here's why. Some of you guys have bits and feelings about Jimmy Fallon. Sure. Okay. Having said that, the Tonight Show is one of the longest standing programs in all of television, perhaps the greatest franchise in all of TV. Again, I got the honor of working for it for a good number of years, but it reaches an audience that expands the demo. And Jimmy Fallon is in a no-win situation here because he's trying to teach people about something a lot of people don't know. So he's trying to come from the everyman position of like, what are you doing here? Oh man, you're going to sweep me. Is that crazy? Oh man, I can't wait to get sweeped. You're the best at it, Ashton. I just got to say, man, you really pulled me up and then moved me to the side. That was crazy. That's what Fallon does. It's supposed to make you understand what it is that he's doing. And Ashton was doing a good job of trying to explain things. And guess what? That segment, if it felt rushed, that's what it's like to be on TV. You literally have seconds to get things. Boom, 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 boom. But as somebody who worked for both Conan and Jay, it did get me thinking you would have never seen this segment with Jay Leno. Because Jay, there's no way, and I love you, Jay, there's no way Jay would have been like, oh, yeah, so you get in the guard here. We do this, and you just sweep me over. Yeah, that's good. Reminds me of the time Bill Clinton swept Monica Lewinsky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Jay is a pro in the way that he is incredible at what he does, but you never really saw them bust out the mats. So you do have to give it for Fallon for being a good sport and trying to show you guys something cool. And I am in a 100% agreement with Tim. All of you guys trying to say, here's what we should have done. I guarantee you, this had to be vetted. Ashton probably has insurance on him. There's only so many moves you can do. And guess who also has insurance on them? The guy who has to host a daily show 200 nights a year. He's not interested in getting scissor swept. He's not interested in any of this, but he does it for you guys so that you can get your plugs. You can show people a part of your personality. Having said this, Tim, I did realize something. We were shooting for the moon and saying we want Tom Hardy to become somebody to give us a super fight. Can I tell you, I have changed my mind. Okay, I'll just say it then. I feel Tom Hardy is 2 out of our league, but just this week, I did see Craig Jones was training with Ronnie Chang. Now, Ronnie Chang is a purple belt. I'm a purple belt. That's who I'm setting my sights on now. Ronnie Chang, one of the hosts of The Daily Show, an incredible comedian, and you're seeing them train with a lot of our most prominent names. I'd like to see how good he is. And Ronnie, I will throw a match for you. Not saying I will, but I will. So that is our new go-to. I feel like he's the guy I want to pull into our world because he literally did a tour that said Ronnie hates Hassan. And they simulate fighting in their promo photos. And I think, I can't read it for sure, it does look like they have kind of a little bit of a brawl. I've only seen the photos. They didn't come to LA. But I like both of those guys. And the fact that Ronnie trains, I think he's a great new ambassador of the sport. And, you know, there used to be a day when comedians would be like, oh, let's roll with the best people in the world. And then he found Craig Jones, and I go, hey, that's a little too good for you, bud. You're learning too good. We don't like you just training with Craig. Craig's got to spread the love. So, Ronnie Chang, we've been following your journey for a long time as a jiu-jitsu competitor. You're now who we want to call out.
Yeah, you're the new call out. That could be a recurring bit on the show, actually. I like that. Let's call it Chang. You've been put on notice, dog.
So, hold on.
He's green lit. He's green lit.
Hold on. Let's tell you how the internet works. I do a impression of Fallon that I've actually done at 30 Rock and gotten laughs. And this man's like, not enough laughing and looking at the camera during the Fallon impression. Let's be very clear here, Brian. You are being one of the people we're talking about. Like, literally, that scissor sweep should be different. It should be a wrist lock. So that is helping that. And it says Ashton Kutcher got his black belt, 15 or 16 years of training, showed a scissor sweep, I believe.
Yeah.
Are you just giving us an AI summary of what we're saying? That's exactly
what I said.
What was said on the show. What is it's too much.
He's turning into an AI agent. He's agentifying right now.
He is. So I see this. Congrats. Thank you. I'll take that on his honor right now. All right, Tim, let's go to our second little notification here as we move topics. But by and large, I call it a huge win for the world. This one is, Giselle.
Yeah, baby.
Is she broke? Did the love that she found with her jiu-jitsu coach come at a major cost to her own finances? Tim, we turn to you for more.
Well, I don't think she's broke. But I think her family is concerned that, makes me laugh really hard, that Joaquin Valente is a broke jiu-jitsu athlete. So recently a story dropped that apparently Giselle's family is concerned that he's just one of these jiu-jitsu bums. And it doesn't surprise me. It's actually pretty great because I could picture Giselle's mom going to Google and just like jiu-jitsu. And you're like, what are the first 5 things? You know, you're going to see like wanted fugitive. You're going to see a crazy Australian guy snorting blow in a bathroom. You're going to see a dude that's literally LARPing as an autistic person. You're going to see a whole gamut of circus characters. And she's like, this is the boy you married with the fortune that you've made. You're going to put it on the line with this you've procreated. It makes me laugh because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Valente bros are in the jiu-jitsu world. Those guys are considered to be pretty damn successful. Like their gyms in Florida are gigantic. They cater to like a really high-end clientele, nice gyms, nice jiu-jitsu, just nice guys overall. They're like, honestly, if you had, you know, like the most harmless list of people that were going to like do really, really, really dirtbag things, they probably wouldn't even be on that list. But, you know, Bunchin's mom is like, how many Super Bowl rings does Joaquin have? None? You shouldn't have left Brady. But I don't know, man. So they're a little concerned. I think she's okay. I think he's okay. But good on mom for looking into it just to make sure that he's not some bum that's going to attach to her fortune.
What kind of news is this, though? Like, where are they getting these sources from, Tim?
I don't know, man. I can't reveal my sources. They're not that good either. So I don't know who the hell they're going to.
Like, I saw this news article go up, and it's like, is Giselle broke? Is she poor? And I go, the same thought you had. The Valente brothers are not poor. And then you realize there might be levels of rich, so that maybe she dropped a level. Maybe her credit score went down because they go, I'm so sorry you're dating somebody in jiu-jitsu. That's not stable. We really have to lower your credit score. And she's like, oh my God, am I poor? No. And then he looks and he goes, babe, we're not poor. Here's my bank account. And then she just goes, oh my God, it's true. We're poor. Oh, sad. I feel like that's possibly what happened. In this day and age, though, raising children, I think that doesn't help you. So when they talk about these things, all you ever in my brain realize is who's the source? And then if there is a real source, hey, family member, shut the fuck up. If the Valente poor is the new standard, all of us are poor. So we don't want that happening. And I really do feel like she could literally do one photo shoot and make more than anybody who gives privates in a year. One photo shoot will turn it around for her. So whenever we're sitting here being like, oh, let's make fun of her. No, she can make money if she wants to. The real question is it different of a life than when she was, you know, with Tom Brady? And not for nothing, Tom Brady has enough scandals going on in his life now where it's just like, hey, I own a team, but I'm still on commentary. Take that, egg. I'm just saying.
That's
different
right.
rules for different people. And last week, what was it? They had him doing some clown shit where they go, hey, Tom Brady, show us how you throw a ball with high winds. And I go, is this what we're doing? We pay him too much. We don't need this. Just get back to the game. We're fine. I don't need the commentator being like, well, if the north winds are coming this way, you throw the ball adjacent to it. Nobody at home is going to care. Nobody's going to their Pee-wee league the next week and saying like, well, Tom Brady said throw it 45 degrees north-south and it will recorrect itself.
Some quarterback coach is texting somebody immediately. This is why you keep messing up your passes.
All right, let's go to our next topic. This is UKE-MAX. It does look like, yes, the most famous Uke in the world was finally given his black belt. So with more on that, Tim, what can you tell us about Placido getting his black belt this week?
So the famed, and everybody's seen him, he's got a lot of different looks also over time, but the famed Uke of John Danaher, Placido Santos, has recently been promoted to black belt, which is awesome, by John Danaher. Not an easy thing to do. And you can tell if you go and you watch some of these online DVDs and tutorials that Danaher's put out, Placido's probably in 80% of these as Uke. They're act up. Like Danaher's putting beef on. You can tell. Almost to the point to where babies him a little bit when he's talking. He'll put like his hand on his shoulders like this as he explains something. But good on Placido. Massive congratulations. That is really a huge accomplishment. I'd like just a tally of how many injuries Placido has picked up from John directly during the filming of these tutorials, because there's probably hundreds of hours of video now on film of Danaher just smoking Placido. The other thing too is I imagine, Raf, that Placido has probably seen a side of John that the rest of us aren't privy to. Because, you know, like people can put on a face for a while, but you're working with somebody for hours and hours. You're going to get to know that person. And I'm like, in 10 years from now, is BJJ Fanatics going to release a Placido tell all where he spills all the juice? Is he going to end up Liberace's, Rolls Royce driver that would deliver him, the great Scott Thorson, deliver him on stage every show? Like, is that where we're headed? Who knows? I would watch it for sure, though. I bet it's great. But good on Placido, man. That's awesome. What a major accomplishment. And I don't know him personally, but he seems like a good dude. And he sure has endured a lot of suffering for my learning. So thank you for that, Placido.
The first pull you had in comparing John Danaher to anybody was Liberace. That was the first thing that jumped to mind.
My brother, it wasn't, but I was comparing him and Placido to Liberace and Scott Thorson. It's a stretch, man, but Scott was like Liberace's Uke. He would drive him on stage.
Yeah, I got it. Can I just say this, though? Now the thought of Michael Douglas no longer playing Liberace is happening. The thought of John Danaher playing Liberace in Behind the Candelabra is now fully in my head. And it kind of checks out, because if you think about it, before he would play a song, Liberace would give a speech, a pretty long-winded speech before going into this, and would tell the audience what he's going to do before he's going to do it. So there'd be banter in chat. And I can think of no better person for that than John Danaher being like, before I teach you the secrets of half guard, it is important that you understand the concept of half guard and where it comes from. In feudal Japan, there were villagers who would one time try to take water from one place to another, but they could only do so through the help of a scissor sweep that would end in Oshigami. And when you are in that position, foolish people have been there before. Gary Tonin, very famously, has been there for 5 years. I left him once in a studio, and he was in Ashigarami for that long of a period of time because I would not let him eat or drink water until he got out. That is how he famously had those things. And you'd be like, wait, when does the move happen? Can
Not
we
on the
move
first
to
DVD.
the move? So anyway, now that dude getting ready to tell you he's going to play Candle in the Wind, not his song, but just sitting there being like, Marilyn Monroe. Wow. What a dame. It is important before I play this song for you to understand her relevancy to the world of entertainment. And it begs the question, are we better off as a society with Marilyn Monroe? Candle in the Wind. Anyway. Placido has seen Danaher in a real shirt. Foolish. Never.
Danaher's a never nude, but it's the rashy that he keeps on all the
He's a
time.
never rashy, or a never not rashy is what it is. I just think Giselle wouldn't be poor if she hit that scissor sweep properly. I mean, listen, dude. I'll tell you this much. Maybe we're wrong with Ronnie Chin and Tom Hardy. Maybe the real super fight is get a female to take on Giselle. Put a cash prize in there. If she needs the money, maybe she'll take the match.
Okay. She's worth $400 million though, so I think she's chilling.
Hey. Interest compounds.
Hey.
Sometimes you got to pay what you got to pay. Can't turn down a gig.
Can I just call something out here real quick? Because I don't want to toot my own horn, but man, can you just take a closer look at the graphic? Can you just look at the comparison cutout that I threw in there and tell me if it works, because I think it works as well. I know we went Danaher Liberace, but now we're going Danaher Larry with my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
Tim, look how grainy this footage is. What am I supposed to do with this?
I know, my man, it's not great, but it's pretty good, right? Unfortunately, there's no high-res photos of Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. You just can't find them. They're all pictures that people capped off their TV or something.
Tim, we were ready to move to the next topic, and you made me go, no, Raf, you haven't acknowledged my doctored photo enough. I'm
my
not AI.
Bob Newhart reference.
I'm just one guy. Can we drop a Newhart reference? A show that
my
not
Bob
AI.
Newhart
I'm
reference.
just one guy. Can we drop a Newhart reference? A show that has not been on the air for 35 plus years and educate the children. Yes, we can. We can do that. And it says,
welcome,
Giselle
audience
versus Demi Lovato. I kind of like that one. It's actually a good match.
That's not bad. You got like a lanky Giselle. Demi can put some weight on. She can come on as the little fire hydrant. Get after it.
Fire hydrant, by the way. The terrible way to describe anybody, male or female. You describe me as a fucking fire hydrant. We're fighting on sight, Tim. Let's go to our next topic.
Fire hydrant's totally non-sexual. You can call
I
someone
know
a
it's
fire
non-sexual.
hydrant.
It just makes it sound like it's a tree stump that had legs for a half second and got stuck somewhere.
Swole.
All right. Hey, everybody. That organization that shares the same name as me and the Royal Air Force still happening. Moments that did happen. And one thing that did surprise everybody, Colby Covington for the first time this decade. Tim, what can you tell us about the real American freestyle wrestling?
You know, it might be hard to love some of these guys, but as a show, they put on a pretty good, solid show. And I picked up RAF 5, watched it last weekend, and they did a real nice job. And as you mentioned, the main event was Colby Covington. He went up against Luke Rockhold, and Covington teched Rockhold. Covington looked great. I didn't think Covington was going to have a big problem with Rockhold, not because Rockhold's not good. It's just because Rockhold didn't freestyle wrestle. And Colby did. And it's a very specific rule set. And there's a certain way to win. There's a certain way to run up points. And if you don't have experience with that, and you go up against a guy that does, most of the time, you're going to get wrecked. That was a great match. We also saw Stephen Buchanan defeated Yoel Romero, and Romero looked great on RAF 4. Romero got tagged. And then this name keeps coming up on our show, Armin Sarukian. I can't pronounce his last name very well, but he defeated Lance Palmer, who's a great wrestler as well. He tagged him, and Armin's not really known for being a wrestler, like a trained wrestler. So that actually, he's like one of the standouts that kind of goes against the grain. But I thought overall it was a really great show. The King of Cringe, Henry Cejudo, made an appearance, and this is the bit. Cejudo is like a caricature of himself, which was already kind of a caricature of himself. So he's recursed twice in this caricature loop. He came out on the stage, and he's got a match lined up at the next RAF event against Uriah Faber, and totally bypassing the fact that he's going to have a fight with Faber, or wrestling match, I should say. He comes onto the stage and calls out Bo Bassett, who looks literally, Raph, if you look up Bo Bassett, he looks like his name. He looks like a child. He's a fantastic wrestler that's coming up, but Henry came out and called him out. So, the show had its moments production-wise. The intensity of the commentators was like a little bit mismatched. They had a few things to work out. The after-fight interviews, sometimes, if the loser was walking by, they would just jump in the thing and Chael would start talking to them. It was a little kind of all over the place. Details that can for sure be worked out. But my thought and my question is like, if these guys keep getting bigger crowds and keep putting on big shows, are they really showing the jiu-jitsu world like this is how you should be doing it? Because that's what it looks like to me. And I think it definitely has a part in the grappling ecosphere. I just don't know exactly what part, but it looks like they're laying down a model that might be successful.
A few things on that. So first, it has buzz. So I think that is pretty important. Two, they have a event or a spectacle in wrestling that is way more covered than us. So even though we get lost in the sauce because a lot of us are just jiu-jitsu people, wrestling is a big business. And a lot of these guys are more compelled to come out and do that world because a lot of people have wrestled in high school. A lot of people have wrestled in college. There is a familiarity there that jiu-jitsu has been building and building and building as a base. Let's get to the major differences, though. Somebody's putting up money to get these actual mega stars in the world of MMA. The guys aren't coming out for nothing. Luke Rockhold will lose to anybody, but he wants to get paid. And I don't blame him. And if you think that joke is bad, go see what the internet says about that man losing in every single form of combat. Compare them. That's a nice version of the joke. Having said that, was I disappointed when Luke Rockhold was paired up with Colby? Yes, for the exact same thing you brought up. And guess what? When Colby Covington won, what was the first thing he did? Hey, George St. Pierre. What? No, you're not getting George St. Pierre. You beat Luke Rockhold, who on a bad day, a cold might beat him. Camera on me. Let me tell you this right now. You don't deserve George St. Pierre. And yes, I get it. It would be in your wheelhouse. And congratulations. That is 100% where you should be. Real American freestyle wrestling is really up your alley here, Colby Covington, because it took the one thing that you do in fights and said, let's just isolate that so we don't have to see the other stuff. And guess what? You're pretty good at it. But you versus George St. Pierre has better things to do, like read about dinosaurs, look up aliens, literally anything else other than do that. And yes, George St. Pierre might be appealed to because he is a true martial artist and a great athlete. But I get the feeling George St. Pierre just comes along for the shits and giggles and really does not want to show up to be like, where am I today? Real American freestyle wrestling? Number one problem, not American. Cannot show up for you. Goodbye, everybody. Try real Canadian freestyle wrestling, which is you against polar bear. You get bear, you try to take it down. Like GSP doesn't give a shit. Now, run the table with the people that they have, Colby. You could become a signature star and actually back up some of the claims that you have made, which have been numerous and have not come to fruition very many times. Having said that, Tim, going back to what you were talking about in terms of production, they have the backing of Fox. So they have a few more resources there. Fox spends a lot of money on their stuff. But I did notice something because I look at the gates, meaning how much they sell. And I think they do a good job. I think the lowest priced is usually about $49, which is a great entry price to get people in the door. And when I think that they're selling well, I look at the photos and the videos, and there's so many scattered seats where there's not people sitting. I get weirded out by that because I know the numbers they're selling aren't bad. I think they need to do a better job of upgrading those people where they're sitting and starting to collapse of the audience, because those empty seats to me just scream like maybe they're comping more. A little known fact, when you have a live show and you have to report your gate results, which they do for this, and I, again, stay on top of it, they're in the 3,000s that they say tickets distributed, which is great business. The real question is, how many of those are paid? Because not every ticket distributed is paid. So I think that they have done a great job on the spectacle. The stars are there. The TV production is different, and having Eric Bischoff and his partners get together to do this, you'll have a team with experience. That's good. But I do wonder, like, these small details, like little things seem to tip me off where I go, damn, why is that? Or why is that? And I think for a growing company, they have showed immense promise. For us in jiu-jitsu, we need a major backer. We need somebody who's used to television production and not just offsetting to some of these makeshift companies that just do their thing. And more importantly, you need to just stick to a direction. Like, if you have a vision, you have to stick to that vision for X number of time. Too many people change their minds mid-course, and too many chefs get in the kitchen. I think just sticking to that is great. But if you really think about it, who's number one isn't all that different from Real American Freestyle Wrestling. The difference is those people are megastars and know how to be characters. And the Flow Grappling, who's number one, there's never anything of interest that happens on that level. Partially because they don't have the talent pool of the MMA stars who want to come back down and do that. We don't have the budget. But maybe that's something we have to start affording for. So if you're an athlete hearing this, yes, it is a big advocacy, more paid, but it also means you got to sell more tickets now, because those folks, just from the numbers I see here, and Tim, just to give you for example, I'll pull it up right now. I follow it so in depth, I can actually tell you how much the Real American Freestyle Wrestling has already sold for the next time. Would you like to know that?
Yes.
I will tell you, their next event, I believe, is in Arizona, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So when you look at those, the last time I saw it, it was approximately, I think it was about 2,000 plus sold that last time. So now I think they're at about 2,500 that they have sold for their tickets thus far in. And I think they're
that's
setting
not
up.
Bad.
Again, we would kill for those numbers right now. So they're doing something right. And I feel like that's part of what we have to learn from these people is, hey, man, if they're doing something really right, we should be learning how to do our models a little bit better. And what they do is when they get a certain amount of tickets sold, then they go to upping the amount of seats available. So if they only make it for 3,000, they then expand it out to 4,000 once they get a certain number and a threshold.
I see.
It is a very interesting thing to watch, and I will actually get you a more detailed report here in a second, but let's move forward to our next topic while I look that up. Our next topic for this event space, it looks like we're going to see the return of one of the best grapplers in the world who has had some unfortunate injuries. I'm very excited to hear more about this, but Tim, it does look like one Nicky Ryan is getting close to returning to the grappling scene.
Yeah, so recently, Nicky Ryan, younger brother of Gordon Ryan, had announced on a podcast that he was planning his return to competition somewhere like mid to late 2026. Obviously, he was out because of an ACL injury. He had to have surgery. And if you look back at Nicky's career, he's spent a lot of time on the injury list. He's improved dramatically, but it seems like every year and a half or so, he's dealing with some kind of nagging injury that's noticeable performance-wise, right? That you can tell, like, this guy's not 100%. So he is making an eye at returning. I don't know if he's got ADCC plans. I don't know if that's something that he would try to make a run at. I don't know if he has an invite to that. Obviously, he hasn't hit a qualifier. Maybe that's in the cards. I don't know if he can recover and get back in enough time in order for that to happen. And because this, and I don't know Nicky personally. He's been on Inside BJJ once or twice. When he was literally a minor, he was a kid, okay? Which probably wasn't a great idea to have him on the show, but we did. But he's literally, he catches strays from everywhere. Like, not just getting hurt all the time, but he's constantly in the middle of Craig and Gordon shooting at each other and everybody else who's taking shots. And most of the time, Nicky does a good job of staying out of it. And he seems like he really would like to move past it. And I hope that happens. And I hope we can see Nicky Ryan compete, a healthy Nicky Ryan compete, without the shadow of Gordon at all, without Gordon competing, where Gordon's just a coach, recovering, doing whatever, but he's not like the name in jiu-jitsu that everyone's talking about. I think it would be kind of neat to see Nicky Ryan in those circumstances. And I don't know. He might perform much better. You know, Gordon's never had to compete with an older brother that was looming over his head all the time, constantly in some kind of issue. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I like Nicky Ryan as a grappler. I think he's got a lot of talent, long way to go. So he's still a kid, man.
Still a kid, very much so. But he has grown up before our eyes, and, you know, I just wish him peace. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
No matter what happens here, this guy can't even make a return to grappling without seeing his name getting listed 15 different ways. And it's unfortunate because if you really watched his progression as a kid, when he's getting a trials win at the age of 17, it's so impressive. And you really got the sense he was on a trajectory up. Now, really, how you quantify him on being a success, or I saw one video that said, oh, was he one of jiu-jitsu's worst cases of what if? I think everybody who's trained with him has said he's so incredibly good. And to be listed as the head coach of a very prominent team for the jiu-jitsu aspect, I don't know that you can call him like washed or any of that sort of stuff. You just say it's unfortunate we couldn't see more of him. So it is a very interesting dilemma to see him there. But we wish him the best, and I feel like he'll come back stronger. Tim, I actually misspoke. I actually got the real results here. Real American Freestyle Wrestling 6. This is taking place in Mullet Arena. It's a terrible name, by the way. In Tempe, Arizona. It's happening February 28th, 2026. And the tickets available are 1,176. The total tickets distributed is only 807.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they're set up for about 2,000 people. What is interesting is seeing how they go up. In the past 6 days, they went up 203 in sales. And, you know, I feel like those numbers flesh out as they get closer. So we will talk more about that in the near future. But why don't we get to our PGF update? Because if you're Egg, this is the segment you have been waiting for. So, Tim, what do we need to know about the PGF updates that we can share? Because as everybody knows, hey guys, I just wish I could tell you this information. I can't wait till you guys hear. We don't know, Dick. What we know, we tell you.
Yeah, you know, man, I should just tell a bunch of false information and send Egg into a tailspin on the message board here. And I appreciate Arshay sticking around. They just commented, let's go. They're the ones that asked all the way in the beginning about the PGF. Here you go. Here's where you're going to learn about it. The PGF Season 9 draft is on February 4th. It's right around the corner. That's where the 4 head coaches, along with their associates and general managers, will be bidding in an auction-style draft on the players that are available in the draft. Many come to the draft already having athletes. I think you can get up to 2 kind of franchise players that will. After the draft, teams have a month to. On March 4th, the season kicks off. It's live, available yet, but if you check their website, which I believe is pgf.world, they have all the information there. The finals are on April 8th. So that's about 6 weeks after the start date. Weight class 175 pounds. It's going to be a banger of a season. It's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to it. And check out the PGF's website if you haven't. They have made some major improvements to that site. And if you're just getting into the PGF right now, their website is probably the place to get caught up. There's a ton of info. You can get squared up real quick on there, so make sure you check that out. But I'm excited for it, man. I think Season 9 is going to be a great season, Raf.
Okay, so we'll ignore the first thing that Egg said because it's nonsense, but then we'll get to this one, which is all 4 teams will be coming to the draft with 2 franchise players. So that begs the question, who do the Colorado Wolverines have? Because they're the new kids on the block. Now, here's where things get interesting, because on the website that Egg has for the Colorado Wolverines, there are 2 franchise players listed. Now, I have not seen placards for them go up on the official site. So, just saying.
Suspicious.
There's one website that says one thing and another website that doesn't say it yet. So, but going back to Arshay, I want to tell you this. If you go to PGF World on YouTube, you might be watching this there. If you go, and this has to be after the show, don't do it now. But if you go after the show is done and you check out the lives, so go to the live section, you'll see a plethora of content that's from there. So that's usually the best place to look it up. You can see day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the past several seasons, amongst a lot of stuff. I think there might be playlists that make it easier to follow, but really, it's a lot to digest in. I would highly suggest you go through a lot of the curated comment on just the video section. If you look at the video section, you'll see some of the best highlights from the PGF, really key moments that are going to tell you what is happening, who the players are. They do an excellent job of putting up educational videos as we get closer. And of course, we are the pre and post show for that. So we'll always give you more information and you can do that. And I see this and it goes, ooh, here it is. Yes, I see it now. You're welcome. We are an educational show here, if anything else. And it does
also
note that, yes,
available for private PGF lessons.
Absolutely.
Hit us up, PGF private lessons. If you want us to catch you up, real cheap, work out a deal.
Yep. Just hit us up. And it says all team members housing provided by their teams this season. Now, we're getting into an interesting discussion because I've heard most people are going to stay in Vegas, but I have also interviewed a couple people who said they might be in and out. So we'll see how that comes to fruition here. And a lot of it is members only. So that's a lot of the live stuff that either we've done, the insiders have done, but you should be able to see a lot of the daily content from those videos. So there is tons of free stuff. At their core, one of the values of the PGF that we really do believe in is that they want to have a lot of free components. So it's accessible, you can see it. And I notice here it says, or check out the Bullpen Live for PGF Season 8 clips and commentary. Yes, you can check us out. And you can see us both on Inside BJJ and the Grappling Hour. And it says, housing is provided. Yes, it is. And it says, I'll give you $1. You know, we're not Giselle here. We don't turn down dollars, sir. So
yeah, that'll change. That can
come find me on our Patreon or just tip us in.
Every little bit helps.
All right. Let's get to the fight of the week. Tim, what can you tell us about this week's low light highlight?
I've been sitting on this fight for about 3 weeks, and so I was really tickled that this was the next one up in my queue. And I almost submitted it last week, but the porta potty blowout was just amazing, and I couldn't stifle that one. I had to get that fight out. This one is a very well fought street fight. Both participants played it very well. They weren't afraid to bang, but they used jabs, crosses, hooks, uppercuts, calf kicks, back kicks. These boys were ready to throw down, and it's a great fight to watch. I've watched this one probably a dozen times just because it's a banging fight. It's very good. It might be up there with one of the best street fights. It's very good.
All right, Tim, you get the first stab at it. Talk us through it.
Okay, so here we go. This is basically like display mode of Street Fighter VU. You got a couple dudes getting after it, and Kung Fu Panda, he's got hops, dude. Like, a little calf kick, he ate one there, kind of woke him up, but he's not afraid to throw the legs. And then you got Asian Pharrell Williams in the black hoodie who's using movement good, a little bit like Dominic Cruz, but he eats one. He ate a Cody Corbrandt left hook. These boys are banging. I like the spinning back kick. And then here comes, nice right, nice left. Both guys are dishing it out. And now you can see Kung Fu Panda notices Juanita just got off her shift supervisor position at AM/PM. She's trying to enjoy her Takis, and these kids are wilding in the parking lot of the apartment complex. But very, very nice fight. Like, these boys got after it. I appreciated that very much.
Thank you, Tim. Allow me. All right. First thing I want to point out to you here. Homeboy actually starts with the hat. So it isn't a hats versus glasses, but that's going to go away very soon. And they look like they're fighting on the outside of where you wait in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So it looks like you're about to get some Dole Whip or go on a jungle cruise here in just a second. But let's see how this fight starts off. Bam, he knocks not only him down, but the hat off. Look at this technique, Tim. Look, embarrassing. Your hat's gone. Now you're on the ground. Bam. However, this kid wearing the Black Panther chain is not getting deterred. He comes back in and comes in very aggressively. Now, great kick here. What I do want to point out is the boldness of not wearing shoes is incredible, but it's also, I got to take this down for a second just so you can see the hand gesture I have here. The dude is literally doing this to him. I don't know what this does in a fight, but it's literally hyping him up like, where you at? Come get me. But it feels a little stifled. So let's go back here. Where we left off was about this section. A knockdown happens. He comes in for more, re-engages, tries to get a nice inside kick here. So these are guys who actually look like they've trained a little bit, and that's something we don't normally have here. Black Hoodie's coming in, getting some great hits. And what I love about this is the dude in the background who's filming. I appreciate him. And not to be, stereotypical here, but I think if you're figuring out which friend he is, you can make a pretty good guess.
Yeah, is he in socks only?
No, I think he actually has sandals on.
Oh, he's got sandals on? Okay,
I think he does have sandals on,
in the parking
but
lot.
we should really be talking about the jorts more than anything.
That's a strong move, dude.
It is. It's a powerful move. And we continue to see this press on. I just wonder about the two people who are parked there and what they're feeling about this fight. Nonetheless, they continue on. Excellent knockdown happens here yet again. And look, you have to acknowledge the fact I asked you, which friend do you think he belongs to? And if you didn't guess properly, the fact that he gets in the face of Hoodie tells you his boy did pretty good in that fight. They go back.
Yeah.
He's not done. He still wants some more. And I love the holding of center. Like, if this dude was being judged in a round, he's holding the center of the octagon. But it's the pointing down. Do we not acknowledge this enough? It's that he literally points down as to give himself props, like, yo, look at these feet. Look at him. Look at him. Bam. And Tim, this is the other thing. This kid, just from the look of it, it almost looks like he's spinning roundhouse the pole, but he just missed it. So thank God.
Look at that.
But walks around the pole, coming back in. Some more back and forth. Now, Tim, this is where you say Spidey sense turned on. He knows an adult is coming.
This is like his default stance. Anytime he's surprised, he just goes into that stance, dude.
And then, of course, you got the supervisor and the driver from the Magic School Bus who comes to break up the fight.
Does she have rubber gloves on?
She does, because she works at a kitchen, obviously, Tim. She came from the cafeteria to break up this fight.
That's what it looks like, actually. She looks like a cafeteria lady.
She's like, what are you guys doing? What's happening here? So, if we learned anything from that fight, it's that we have to point more at the ground to really hold.
You called out an aspect of judging street fights I hadn't thought about ever, and you called it out. Homeboy controlled the center of the parking lot. He did. He controlled center. Like, you got to give him credit for that.
It's a 10-9, but what athletic commission would have ever sanctioned that fight? That's the real question. The weight disparity, I can't get behind it. But Tim, I think it's time for you to sign off. Tell the people where they can find you, good sir.
You can find me at Inside BJJ. If you're out in Nashville, come see me at 10th Planet Nashville. And if you're out in Stockton, go see my homies out at 10th Planet Stockton RAF. What a show. We started with Ashton Kutcher and we wrapped it up with Juanita, the lunch lady, in a brilliant street fight. Couldn't have asked for it any better, man. Thank you so much. It's great chatting with you again today.
Likewise, Tim. And just so you know, Arshay, get a look at these two faces. You're going to see them a lot in all PGF matters. So get ready for it. We will lead you to the promised land of all the best information that you need to. And we won't make you feel dumb when you don't know stuff, because we don't know stuff. So, Tim, I will talk with you very soon, and I'll close up this bitch right now. My thanks to you guys for watching. If you enjoy the show and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, what are you doing? Gave you a lot of entertainment for a quick amount of return time. So the least you can do, get in, like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to us here on the show. And we're very, very excited about the upcoming season of the PGF. And you can find a lot of cool stuff from us here at this show. So personally, I run a Patreon page. It's called patreon.com/grappling hour. You go there for $5 a month. You can see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars, see extra bonus content not available anywhere else. For example, I have already interviewed Jet Thompson, Cam Hurd, Austin Orande, You've got plenty of the guys. Parker Salisbury. TV Dinner is what they call him. It's a weird name. You got to get used to that with the PGF. They just give him nicknames. Is what it is. So you can see all those interviews right now before everybody else if you go to that Patreon, plus a lot of big talent. We just released an interview with Brandon Reed, who just qualified for trials. Just did one with Maya Matalon, who also won at trials. We are covering the bases, and yes, we have a scheduled time to discuss with one Mo Black coming up in the near future. See, Egg, this is the sad part. Egg is he's interviewing Cam Hurd, but he's behind schedule. If you have seen my interviews and you pay for my Patreon, you would have already seen it and a lot more info. Egg doesn't do an hour. He can't. Incapable of it. Tries to keep it 30 minutes. With Egg, you will get something in an hour for free, but my interview's better. So go check us out over at patreon.com and support your boy here. But we do love Cam, and he is going to have an incredible next season. And he has been chomping at the bit, man. Like, Cam Hurd he has really made some stringent improvements in his game, and I'm excited to see how those play out in the near future for the season of the PGF. He's also part of the Las Vegas Kings, so I think you might see him at the draft. You'd know the answer if you checked out my interview on patreon.com/grappling hour. So there is that. Anyway, thank you for that. Let's also discuss if you guys want to support the show, you want to get a Grappling Hour hoodie, a t-shirt, a tank top, head on over to rafesparza.com/merch. Every cent you spend on the show goes directly back into the show, pays for a lot of fancy stuff like this microphone, soundboard, the computer, all the graphic stuff that you see here. It is all paid for with that. So we love it when you guys wear it and support it proudly. It means a lot to us. You can also check us out on our Discord at Grappling Hour. And you don't have to say that. I mean, I know it, but you're a sweetheart, Egg. Having said that, you can also check us out. You can like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the plugs, guys. Essentially, what's happening here is we're going to sign off in about 30 minutes, go on over to the Egg at Scramble show. They are going to interview Cam Hurd and give you some updates on some stats. And I'm interested to hear what Abe is now doing all the work. Really, the two workhorses on Egg's podcast, Abe and his son. Egg's son, not Abe's. I don't know Abe's situation, honestly. He essentially, Egg, has put his son to work on that show, and he is a producer on it. So all good things you see are coming from the son. He's also doing the graphics here. He's working his ass off, so give that kid a raise. Or don't. Not in charge of the finances there. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. My thanks to all of you for watching. We will see you guys back here next Friday, same time-ish, same place. And very excited for... Oh, it's 6 p.m.? Dude, why... This is what I'm talking about. Tell me ahead of time. I'm literally signing off the show. It's normally supposed to be 5 p.m. Best Coast time. Anyway. Taking a beat. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back here next week. Same time-ish, same date. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, you guys. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.